Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have round 4 of the rookies for the 2024 NFL Draft. Round 4 is completely done, so rounds 1 through 4, picks 1 through 135 are completely caught up now. Now, of course, yes, that does still leave the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds, and then some important undrafted free agents, if we can get there, of course. A couple things that we're going to go over real quick. First and foremost, yes, I'm going to be trying to do all 7 rounds of the draft, and I'm going to try to do important undrafted free agents. I'm not going to do all undrafted free agents. So any like quarterbacks or notable names that fell out of the draft that probably should have went. Those are the guys, whether it's character concerns, injury concerns, or anything like that. I'm going to be hopefully making those players. Of course, I still have to get through 3 rounds of the draft, and that's over, I think it's 122 picks over the next 3 rounds. Okay? So you have to remember, that's almost 40 players per round that I have to get done, okay? So it's going to be tough. It really, really is going to be tough, right? We're at pick 135. We're barely halfway through the draft, and that's 4 rounds, okay? So it's going to be still a lot of work. And some of these players, it's kind of difficult to try to, like, which attributes do I give them? Which attributes do I not give them? Which attributes do I take away from this player as it gets to the later round drafts? Because, if you're a good athlete, I got to make you a good athlete, but you're probably not going to have the skill set. Or if you have the good skill set, you're probably not going to be that great of an athlete, and so on and so forth. And it's just kind of difficult to make some of these guys. Even some of these 4th round guys, it's kind of difficult to make because, they're great athletes with great upside and all this and that, but I can't make them higher than the overalls that I've already set and assigned for them. Okay, so I'm going to try to create as many players as possible. Last year, we got to pick 206, and then I created a couple 6th rounders and 7th rounders that I was still able to create. If we get to a point where the created player limit is hit for me, if for some reason it does not go past the 7th round, I will notify you guys almost immediately and be like, hey, I can't create anymore. If you guys want to create the rookies yourself by, editing over players, that's up to you, but my job is done from here on out. Okay? Secondly, yes, dev traits cannot be changed in Madden. It's just something that cannot be done. I cannot add dev traits to rookies, and I cannot change them to any existing player inside of Madden. Until you go into franchise, all the dev traits will show up as normal. Okay? And that's just something you're going to have to deal with. I know it sucks. I know it does. I get it. Trust me. It's just the way it's going to have to be. That's another thing that we need to go over. The stuff I'm not able to change is age, so the age of a player, contract numbers, so basically all the money that they're getting, and I have workarounds to get years. It's based off of overalls and stuff, but I can only get up to a 3-year deal, okay? So I can only get up to a 3-year deal, and I can't control the money on contracts. I can't change age, contract numbers, experience, dev traits, and there's something else that I'm probably forgetting about that I cannot change that's kind of important. If there is something else that I'm forgetting and somebody wants to comment down below, I'm more than willing to pin your comment or like it at least. But with all that being said, let's get into the 4th round rookies in all their glory. Now, of course, the full 4th round, I didn't even plan this out, to be fair. I was just kind of looking as I was finishing up the round, is they are all 68. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean. So first and foremost, you're going to want to head over to the NFL Creation Center. It's the little NFL icon that you probably should have seen me click on. Share and manage files, download community files. This is where you have to go. You have to download the roster every time you want the new roster or the new update. You have to go get it. If you do not go get it, you're not going to fucking have it. It's as simple as that. Okay? Then you want to scroll down to my name. We're number 5. Okay? I would assume we'll probably be up near the top. I would assume we'll probably pass the 2026 NFL Draft here. But we're on the first page. If for some reason you don't want the 2025 roster, you can go download the the Madden 24 roster update. They are all the same, or they are both the same. You can search at my online ID if for some reason you can't find my name. Normally, I do add it almost every day, even if there's not really a whole ton of progress going on. It's just to keep it near the top so it's more easily accessible. Once you download it, it's going to ask you to either overwrite your file or save it as a new if this is your second time downloading it, or 3rd or 4th or 5th, or so on and so forth. If you're new and you're grabbing this for the first time, it won't ask you to do that. Overwriting your file just saves it as the same name, but then gets rid of the old copy, whereas saving it as a new file just makes you rename it. Then, of course, you're going to head over to load and delete. Load and delete. You have to load the roster. If you do not load the roster, you will not see it. It's as simple as that. The roster will show up once you load it. You have to start a new franchise. You can go into Play Now. You can go into Edit Rosters. I don't think it works on my career. Well, the Superstar mode, for some reason, somebody asked me if it worked on Mutt. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But then all the players should be there. Okay? Simple ones, Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze being here. Keenan Allen, of course. Darnell Mooney being gone. Stuff like that. The Bears ended up getting their guys. Kieran and, of course, Torrey Taylor. Yes, I did go ahead and make Austin Booker. Leave me alone. I'm a Bears fan. I wanted to play with him a little bit, okay? Another thing we must go over. I'm going to pick out a pretty easy one. Jermaine Burton for the Cincinnati Bengals from Alabama. The portraits on the player where you're looking at the player management screen, the portrait is not supposed to accurately depict the player in real life. The portrait that I pick for each individual player is based off of how they look in their helmet, whether or not they have dreads, whether or not they have long hair, whether or not they have anything. A long neck, a fat head, it kind of looks tight in their helmet. It kind of looks spacey in their helmet. They kind of have a pushed back face in their helmet. Does it look like they're close up to their face mask? Does it not? The way I pick player portraits and player head scans for the rookies is how their helmet looks on their body with their equipment. I do not give a fuck about their portrait. I'm going to say that once, I'm going to say it again. I do not give a fuck about the portrait accurately depicting the character, the athlete, on the player management screen, on the adjust roster screen, on the roster screen. I do not care. It is about how they look inside of franchise mode when I'm playing, because that is more important to me. If it's not more important to you, you can go in and change the face scans. I do not care. Now let's get to the rookies so that we can get out of here and you guys can see all of them. You just saw, I think, one with the Bengals. So, of course, Jatavion Sanders started us off out of Texas. Then we go to Troy Franklin to the Denver Broncos. So we'll go scroll to him. And like I said, all these guys are going to be 68 overalls. Ratings are based upon a multitude of things. Athletic rating, combine scores, stuff like that. Tape as well, just highlight reels and stuff like that. Like, if I'm seeing somebody that ran slow at the combine, but he's fucking blazing past everybody on the field, I'm going to take that into a factor as well. I'm not just going to simply say, oh, hey, the combine, because we've seen it before. Combine speed does not equal NFL speed, and everybody knows that is the case if you are a real NFL fan. Layden Robinson here to the Patriots. Then we go to the Cardinals, picking up a safety in Dadrion Taylor Demerson. He is back up. Some of the safeties, I couldn't quite tell if they're supposed to be a free safety or a strong safety for the most part, so I just kind of picked one at random. It shouldn't change overalls at all, if not just a little bit, if I do have to change them over. The Chargers took Justin Eboji, who I just showed off. The Titans then ended up taking a linebacker as well in Cedric Gray out of North Carolina. Then we go to Theo Johnson in the Big Apple for the Giants. Athletically gifted tight end there out of Penn State. Kyrie Jackson goes to the Vikings as well. 6'4" corner. He's gonna be pretty good. Good special teamer for you guys. Brandon Dorless to the Falcons. I think I have him listed as a right end. He's kind of in that tweener role. There was reports that he played edge a little bit at Oregon, but at 290, I feel like in that 280 to 300 range, you can play inside or out. I know he's not super athletic, so I just put him as a 3-4, 3-tech, or even 4-eye type of player. Javon Baker going to the Patriots as well. They add another weapon to that receiving core. Then we go Evan Williams, safety, going to Green Bay. He's out of Oregon. He's going to be backing up Xavier McKinney. Could move him over to strong safety, and Javon Bullard and him could compete for starting reps if you really wanted to. The Raiders ended up going with the Camryon Richardson out of Minnesota. I picked the wrong school. Okay, so that's something I will need to fix. The Camryon Richardson is actually out of Mississippi State and not Minnesota State, so I did mess up on that. So I will fix that. You guys probably won't see that mess up once you go download the roster, but there is that. Tez Walker or Dontavius Walker out of North Carolina going to the Ravens. The Jaguars ended up picking up another tackle in Javon Foster. So So here he is. I put him at left tackle just because in a lot of his pictures, it did look like he was playing left tackle, as well as the fact that they have Walker Little backing up that right side. Then rookie that you already saw for the Bengals, Eric All out of Michigan and Iowa. Fuck, he's actually out of Iowa most recently, isn't he? Okay, two guys I gotta fucking get fixed. That's my bad. I was looking at his fucking Michigan pictures when I was creating him for a little bit because I was trying to decide which type of equipment to give him and stuff. Granted, I went with more of the Iowa stuff. Then we have Jordan Jefferson, another D tackle, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then we have Tanner Bortoloni going to the Colts out of Wisconsin. Tyrus Knight going to the Seahawks, linebacker out of Texas El Paso. Here he is. Then we have Mason McCormick going to the Steelers. He's listed as a center on the draft website, but it said he played almost strictly guard in college, so I'm going to just keep him at guard for now. If you want to, you can move him to center. Granted, they already have Zach Frazier, so it's not that big of a deal. Dolphins ended up taking another running back in Jalen Wright, high explosive guy. Big yardage per, but nothing too special there. Then we go back to the Seahawks, picking up A.J. Barner. So here he is. Good blocking tight end. They'll have him for years to come. Torrey Taylor, you guys have already seen, so we're just going to skip over him for now. Cade Stover. I guess we can go back to Torrey Taylor. Cade Stover going to the Texans. Good little receiving set. Meeting back up with, of course, C.J. Stroud. Torrey Taylor. Kickers and punchers do have special overalls. That's something I did not mention in previous videos because kickers or punchers just haven't went off the board yet. But now with Torrey Taylor being the first punter going off the board and the only punter going off the board, kickers and punchers will have their own dedicated overalls, kind of like QBs. Torrey Taylor, since he is the only puncher, gets a 72. Once we have that run of 3 kickers in the 6th round, I know there's 3 kickers taken in the 6th round. I don't think there's any taken after that. There will be a 72, 71, and 70 respectively, just because I might drop them a little bit lower than that. I haven't completely decided. I originally was going to go with something higher because the list of punters and QBs punters and kickers taken over the last couple of years was like almost 2 or 3 at each position. Instead, it was a lot lower this year. Malik Mustafa going to the 49ers, safety. So we are going to go visit him real quick. He is sitting there at strong safety. If you don't like that, you can move him over, of course. Bucky Irving, or as that's what he is called, but his real name is Marquise Bucky Irving. Bucky is his code name. I might do the same thing for Tez Walker. Give him his real name, but then add his little nickname in between if you guys really want me to. Or if you don't like it, you can simply take his first name off and just have him listed as Bucky. Giovanni Manu out of the University of British Columbia. He went to the Lions there in the 4th. Will Shepley out of Clemson going to the Eagles. They're getting a good receiving back and I think a decent returner if I remember correctly. Then we go to the Bills. A good run of running backs here going as well. Ray Davis out of Kentucky. Isaac Guerrero going to the 49ers. So they get another guy, high athletic guy. TJ Tampa going to the Ravens, filling out their cornerback room, getting another good physical man press corner guy. He'll come in. He'll be a lower overall, but you can easily play with him with his athletic traits and so on and so forth. Then we went Jared Wiley out of TCU in Texas going to the Chiefs. They get an athletic freak at tight end. Granted, there's some decent depth already there, so how much will he play? Then you get the two-way specialist in Sion Vaki out of Utah. He will be starting off as a running back. I did make sure his overall is correct on the defensive side. So if you really want to move him over to safety, you can, and he'll still be a 68. You can go look at that if you want to. I'm not going to show that off in this video. If you guys want to see it in a different video, let me know down below. Jaden Hicks, one of the best safeties in the class, in my opinion. Defensive back, he can go down and play the nickel and stuff. 68 overall here on the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, of course, Braylon Edwards going to the Jets. Big physical guy, only 20 years old. His age is going to be fucked up when you play franchise. I just can't get him down to 2004 just because Madden won't allow me to. So there he is out of Wisconsin, Braylon Allen. And then, of course, Jacob Cowing going to the 49ers. They pick up another receiver. That receiving room is kind of full right now. Good explosive threat, quick, mobile, gets out of his breaks. So that is the 4th round rookies. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about the roster, whether it's a player that is missing or a player that is incorrect, look, I'm trying to update jersey numbers as much as possible. Some teams don't like announcing that this player is getting this jersey number. Some teams do. It's a whole different ordeal. I'm trying to get all of them as correct as possible. So if it's something like a jersey number, try not to be mean about it. Just be like, hey, this dude's this, by the way. It was announced yesterday. And first and foremost, try to go check the roster. Be like, okay, he has updated it. Cool, the jersey number's correct. If it's not updated, then you guys can go ahead and let me know. Please make sure you guys do update the roster before saying anything as well. It's a very good roster. I'm going to put this out there. I think it's a very good roster. If you don't enjoy it, you don't have to fucking play with it. It's simple as that. If you don't like it, you don't have to play with it. It's a very good roster. I think other people enjoy it. It's going to continue to add a couple months into your play time of Madden 23. Of course, we are just probably about 3.5 months away from Madden at this point, but it will allow you to play franchise going forward until until you get your filling of. Like I said, I'm going to try to get the 5th round rookies done hopefully tonight, and then I'll hopefully have a video up tomorrow as well, and then I'll hopefully have a 6th and 7th round video over the next 2 days when I get those done as well. I do have other content planned as well, so I will be posting some of that as well. I'm going to try to get the roster and the draft stuff done as quickly as possible. With that being said, guys, if you guys enjoy this video or any of the videos here on my channel, I would appreciate if you guys do stick around and subscribe. I'll be back with more videos like this, and of course more roster updates. That being said, I'm out. Peace.